The first review of the day, Ahsoka.
Yes.
The first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Basically, the internet has called it Star Wars Rebels Season 5.
Yes.
Which is hilarious because
I've not seen Rebels.
Neither have I.
And
as a preface, neither of us have seen Rebels. I've seen a bunch of different episodes here and there, especially like Darth Maul or when like Ahsoka fights Vader, that whole arc. But I have not watched the greater chunk of it.
As the season goes on, or after the end of the first season, I'm going to make it a point to watch Rebels, because now I'm already missing out on character. Like, I understand it, I understand where it's going, but
Sabine and
there's definitely a camaraderie and a backstory to these characters that I don't know that they're expecting me to.
Did you think Chopper was funny? The little droid?
No,
little droid.
He's trying too hard.
That's his whole personality.
No, he's got to be R2. You got to tone it back a bit.
No, I think he's hilarious. In the show, he's like a murderous psychopath.
Oh, is he? See, I didn't know that.
Sort of.
So that would have been good to know.
It's incredibly in character.
In this, I'm like, why is he just doing all, like, tone it down, man. You're a droid with no mouth.
Listen, I would love to watch Rebels. We've spoken about how we want to watch Rebels many times.
We should do it.
We're going to do our little review thing for the first 2 episodes. You know, it's either it's great, it's bad, or it's overrated.
Initial review.
The initial review, yes. Yeah. For the first 2 episodes. Because I don't think we're on the same page whatsoever. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It's great.
Bad.
It's so good.
Bad.
I am fucking loving every second of it.
It's bad.
The CG looks great. Her lightsaber skills, she's actually doing stuff instead of like 7, 8, and 9, where it's like...
No, she's not.
She's doing stuff.
No.
Hugh Yang, played by David Tennant, is hilarious. The droid that has with the weird all-long face.
No fucking way. Yeah, that's David Tennant.
It was him.
I knew I liked that droid.
Yes, it's David Tennant, and he's great. Taking the couple of Rebels characters into live action is phenomenal. Hera and Sabine, I believe her name is. Yeah. Yes. 2 of them, great. The haircut when she buzzes her head looks a little strange. I'll admit that.
Isn't that based on what it actually is in Rebels?
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be, but it looks really weird on her head.
Because no one has that haircut in real life?
Yes, because it's also clearly a wig.
Yeah. So my problem with it is the exact opposite of you. I think that you're going to take a character from Clone Wars era Star Wars. She's doing more than the original trilogy, but they're not... This is going to sound like a really weird criticism.
Okay.
They're not throwing in enough CGI doubles of her. They're not
doing the flips.
They're not. She's not doing flips.
I don't care.
She's not doing whatever. And in the first 2 episodes, she chases after something and stops like 3 or 4 times instead of just using the Force to jump. And it's another thing that I actually noticed recently. Rosario Dawson, wonderful casting as Ahsoka as far as looks.
Aesthetic and looks perfect.
But she is not trying even in the slightest to use Ahsoka's voice. She's just, I'm Rosario Dawson. I'm going to do this. And
she's very not laid back, but very like closed off and quiet. And I understand, right? At that point in Ahsoka's like Jedi career, she's been through a ton. Here you go. She's been through a ton. Right? Between Anakin and then his fall and then the Siege of Mandalore and the end of the Clone Wars and then all of Rebels. And this is post episode 6 too. So she doesn't just have trauma from the first from episode 3, 4. She has trauma from the whole rise and fall of the Empire.
And she's just like,
and the Mandalorian. She's got a whole
Ahsoka. I'm not a Jedi.
I don't think it's that.
But I'm a Jedi.
I don't think it's a cool kid thing.
I think that's more how she's portraying it, but it's not how she's supposed to be.
I think it's more that she's trying to be closed off and it's coming off wrong depending on the scene. You know what's really cool?
How someone got stabbed by a lightsaber and lived for the first time in like 12 different forms of media? Besides getting cut in half with Darth Maul?
See, they really didn't need to do that either. They could have like cut her face or something to like knock her out.
They're like, we're going to stab you through all the vital organs, but you have a doctor.
But you're perfectly fine. Because Star Wars technology is new, but it's old. But it's new, but it's really old.
It's got to look old so it matches the 70s. But we're so much more advanced than you guys could ever imagine.
Yeah.
That's not a fault. That's just like same with like aliens and everything.
It's a way of trying to keep things coherent and consistent.
Yeah, which it's totally understandable.
Fine. It makes sense, you know, because you want to keep the Star Wars.
It's a little funny, but yeah, it's understandable.
I think Ahsoka is. I disagree. I think Rosario Dawson is doing things perfectly because Ahsoka at this point, like if we want to talk about age, like hypothetically, she's like 14 or 15 by the time the Clone Wars movie comes out.
You mean in this we got a problem?
No, it's before episode 3, and around there, I would guess she's about 15 years old. In that episode, or maybe even a little younger.
I would say older. I thought she showed up in the Clone Wars at like 14.
I said 15. How is 14 older than 15, Brendan?
Because you said at the end of episode 3.
No. It takes place before Episode 3, the Clone Wars movie and the series.
How long is the Clone Wars show real time?
Gotta be like 5 or 6 years.
That's what I'm saying. So by the time the Clone Wars ends,
it's the end of the Clone Wars and the entire original trilogy. This is like 20 years.
Yeah.
So she's like in her 40s.
They said that, yeah, in the video I watched on the recap.
Yeah, so she's like in her 40s.
Yeah.
As like a hurt, broken, sad person who's watched all her friends die, and then the whole order that she was part of fall, and then they're trying to rebuild it. It makes sense. I would also not be a very charismatic, happy-go-lucky, jumpy person. I would probably also be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And she's also just like, I'm not going to teach you. They're like, oh, I want to come with you. She's like, no. No, you got to stay right here. I'm not going
to teach Baby Yoda, but I got like 2 Padawans over here that I'm going to go do a whole show about.
Yeah. It's great. What else? I think the action's cool. I think the droids are funny. Ray Stevenson sucks that the actor passed away. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. His voice alone just carries whatever he's trying to get across. And I think it's crazy. I want to know more about them. This is why I'm intrigued about the show. So their lightsabers are orange with the red hue on the inside.
Yeah.
Right? Because in Legends, it's like the outside color and the inside color, and it varies and whatever. And the girl also has the Padawan ponytail.
Well, they touched on that in episode 1 already.
Yeah, they're Padawans.
No, but I mean, he's clearly a Jedi turned, or at least a Jedi in training.
Yes.
Turned, and now he has a new Padawan. So even though he's on the dark side, he's still teaching her the ways, because that's just what. It's not even that. He's just teaching her the ways of the Jedi in the way that he was taught,
Sith, yes.
but teaching her in the darker methods. So she's got all those things. I
still want to know more about them because they're pretty fucking cool.
We're not gonna.
Is she gonna die?
No, he's dead. It wasn't a joke. It's just serious.
It is serious. It's sad. It sucks. And see, I think the show itself is great. I think from an aesthetic and like a looks point and CG and whatever that it's going to be, I think it's great thus far. And my expectations are high because I still have hope for what Star Wars can be, especially with Dave Filoni at the helm still. It's good. My only problem, my single problem, is that as much as the more they try to go back, they try to do things and fill in some blanks and some gaps that there are.
More continuity errors.
There's more continuity problems.
Yeah.
How the fuck are there so many Jedi alive when the Emperor's there? And the Emperor's always like, man, I feel the Jedi, go kill him. And Darth Vader in the comics is like, stab, murder. And all of a sudden we're here and he's like, oh, actually, Ahsoka lived through the whole thing. We don't know what happened to her. And now there's 2 more.
Well, they answer that at the end of the Clone Wars.
But this isn't the Clone Wars. This is 3 movies later. 4.
Yes, this is after episode 6, correct?
Yes.
So Darth Vader's dead, so it doesn't matter.
It does. He is. Oh, so is the Emperor. No, but still, they were around.
Yes, but I'm saying, but
he's not dead.
At the end of the Clone Wars, Darth Vader found Ahsoka's lightsabers.
Yeah, that was at the end.
So as long as they weren't close enough together, he may always assume maybe he feels something, but he's like, nah, she's dead.
Well, Darth Vader is... I'm talking more about the Emperor. Darth Vader is a special case.
The Emperor was too cocky. He completed his master plan,
that's
so
true,
he doesn't care anymore.
You remember in the Clone Wars, he was like, Darth Maul, you exist, and your brother, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you and kill your brother in front of you?
Yeah, but Darth Maul was a problem. That wasn't just something you could ignore.
You had a point. He did take over an entire planet. I get it. But still, there's no way that the Emperor and Darth Vader in the comics, at least when Darth Vader was in his prime, he was a cunning, evil son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to go to your house. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take your lightsaber. I'm going to turn it bad, and then I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to take your entire life and everything that you built and all of your stuff and get rid of it because I hate you. Also, who is Morik, the Inquisitor?
The Night guy?
Yes. He's an Inquisitor, and every Inquisitor has like a number and a name, and they all have that lightsaber because they suck.
Yeah, I just learned that recently.
What is he? Why is he not like an 8th brother or a 9th sister?
Because he's gonna die, and he doesn't matter. He's the red shirt guy in Star Trek. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna die. He's cannon fodder.
He is a chess piece.
Yes, exactly.
Literally, he is a fucking bishop. Like he's just there.
I would agree.
A knight. That would make more sense. He's an actual
because
knight.
He's got the knight face going on.
I also love that. Even when it's not, I don't know if this happened with the other Inquisitors or not. I haven't really paid attention to
it. Depends.
The Inquisitors or not, but he's a knight, and his sword is a saber. It's got the handguard on the one side before he goes into the circle mode where it can spin. He's got the actual handguard, so he's actually using the first genuine lightsaber.
Everyone has it.
Every single one of them?
Every Inquisitor has the same lightsaber.
With the handguard.
Yes. There might be like little aesthetic differences, but they all have the circle that goes around, and then when they flip it open, it's the whole circle.
But that's crazy that it's called the lightsaber, but they are used as katanas, and then they're the only ones who actually have a saber, and then Kylo Ren just uses a fucking broadsword.
Which is awesome.
Everyone talked shit about how when Kylo Ren and Rey came out, and they're like, you suck with lightsabers, you do whatever. But it's just like, no one's teaching them. They're bad. Kylo should have some form for being taught by Luke, to like a certain extent,
yes.
But then again, he only got taught by, you know, Obi-Wan for a week and then Yoda for like a month instead of, you know, years. They're getting progressively worse and worse, and as much as it sucks as far as lightsaber combat goes, it makes sense.
Kylo?
All of them. Even now, with the fucking two apprentices fighting each other, how it was a very boring fight and she got stabbed in the gut.
Even in Obi-Wan, the lightsaber fights were mediocre as shit.
Except the ending. My only problem with that is that it makes sense that the older you get, maybe you're not as nimble with the Force as helping you out or whatever and doing whatever. My only flaw with that are two people. Sorry, three. Just thought of another new. Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon, why?
He was very acrobatic for like a 40-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Sorry, Yoda? 4. The Emperor.
Yoda?
And Yoda.
Yeah.
And they're doing backflips and everything else, and everybody else just hits 35, and they're like, man, you just fuck it.
I give up. Okay.
And
listen, I don't want to get angry today, so we're not going to talk about Obi-Wan, but what a missed fucking up. What a dropped ball. What a sad, sad thing. Okay? Like, the show was fine.
Anakin's fate, you're right.
I'm hopeful for Ahsoka. 8 episodes.
It's 8?
8.
Yeah, so I saw it as a limited series. Is there not going to be a season 2, or is this really all we're getting?
It entirely depends. Obi-Wan was a limited series, but if it did well and people wanted more, I'm sure they would do another season.
I want more. Just write it better.
Just keep Kathleen Kennedy in another building. Yep. It's that simple. Give it to Dave Filoni.
Look
at how, even though you're not a big fan of Ahsoka, look how like coherent and accurate it was to the cartoon without her being in the goddamn room.
As much as I'm not a huge fan of it, we watched the first 5 minutes together. You saw how I reacted with the title crawl and the spaceship,
bro.
And I'm like, they went back to Star Wars. It's Star Wars again.
It's Star Wars again. Instead of them going, didn't.
It was just like, oh, we're doing this and it's whatever. But no, they did the title crawl. And I'm like, wait for the spaceship to go across the screen. Just wait. And you're like, what? And I'm like, and it went. I'm like, yeah.
I appreciate too that the title crawl was different. It wasn't like the yellow. It was like red. I appreciated that it was different on it.
It was weird that it was wrong. But at the same time, it was interesting that it was different. But it does feel like it's going back to it.
Okay. So Ahsoka. Great.
Yeah.
I'm joyfully optimistic.
It's a little drawn out for me.
We'll review
because
it
it's a show again. It's got the same problem with every Disney Plus TV show.
Yes, they draw it out, which is crazy too, because most TV shows are like 24 episodes. So the fact that we're cutting it down to 8 and you have to draw it out means the story really wasn't that good.
Because they're really not writing anything. They're just like, hey, what if we have an Ahsoka show? Okay, what's it about? I don't know, Rebels? Who are we bringing back? The same villain from Rebels? Got it. Okay, what are we writing about? I don't know, fill in the gaps, man.
You think Darth Vader's going to make an appearance?
Yes! You put Anakin in a fucking trailer, Darth Vader's not gonna show up.
You know what?
You also saw his face when he walked out on stage for Obi-Wan, and people were like, you were great, instead of like, boo, you suck. Like, he was just like, I'm gonna cry right now.
I have a better question. Anakin, there was some voice overlay in the newest trailer before the show came out.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll actually get Hayden Christensen in the show?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get Clone Wars flashbacks?
Man, if they do, he better fucking be de-ages this time, because I'm so tired of 50-year-old episode 2 Hayden Christensen.
It was bad.
The ponytail, the circles under the eyes, the fucking forehead wrinkles. Hello, Master. What? You're a senior citizen.
Master, I'm ready to spar with you.
You have an AARP card, man. Go away.
And then you look over to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's the same, but he's got the mullet. He's like, yes, Anakin, I'm ready. My legs don't hurt. My back is fine. So
why? Hold on, just really quick. Why? Why would you not spend 5 seconds on the one scene?
I don't want to. Please, it's just gonna make me angry.